The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, is an absolute garbage fire. We are talking front runner for worst movie of 2021. And it's not just the shoddy direction, it's not just the laughable acting, and it's not just the nonsensical plot that makes absolutely no sense if you go any deeper than surface level. It is the sum of its parts. It is the whole, the experience. This film will insult your intelligence, leave you absolutely dumbfounded, questioning why the fuck we are 8 installments deep in a franchise that literally had no reason to continue after the second Conjuring movie. These movies have always been overrated. James Wan has always been an overrated director, but I can't even blame him because this isn't being directed by him. Never mind the 18,000 spin-offs we get about your Annabelles and your The Nuns, all of these horrible films taking on concepts and little Easter eggs from the Conjuring films that nobody wanted to explore. Never mind the fact that The Conjuring itself works fine as a standalone film, a pretty shitty horror movie, but it works fine as a standalone film. Why do we need more? Why do people continue to insist on paying for sequels to films that do not need them? I can talk about your Fast and Furiouses, and I can talk about your Mission Impossibles, but I think The Conjuring might just be the most egregious offender of this, because horror, when you look at it, horror films should have a conclusive start and a conclusive end. There's no need to milk away. Now, there are certain films that are very story-based, right? Certain horror films that really lean into the plot aspect. They don't rely on gore or jump scares, and they actually deserve sequels to flesh out their characters. I'm talking about your Friday the 13th and your Halloweens. These movies need sequels because of how story-heavy they are. All right, there's not a lot of gore in those films, and it's not just about shock value and kill value. You actually explore the character's psyche, and you really get to delve into what makes the gears grind upstairs, what keeps the clock ticking. In The Conjuring, never mind that we're following the most basic, bottom of the barrel horror story framework. All right, it's a ghost story. That's all it is. All right, a fucking 3-year-old can write this shit. It's a ghost story. All right. Ed and Lorraine are shitty protagonists who do absolutely nothing. As soon as they get in too deep, they immediately flip the switch. They become selfish assholes and decide to bail on the family that they're helping. All right. But then they have a moment of revelation. They come back and end up doing it. Never mind that Lorraine might get pushed too far. Literally the plot of every Conjuring movie ever. And spoiler alert, literally the plot of The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. I just saved you $20 at the theater. You don't need to go pay to see it. Never mind that, the films were never that scary. The ghosts were never intimidating. The spirits, the devils, the demons, they never convinced me, the viewer, that they were a worthwhile threat because of shoddy writing and piss-poor directing. The most notable thing about the Conjuring series, not just the first film, the entire series, all right, is two things. One, it's an Annabelle doll that somehow got spun off into its own movie, which was better than the actual Conjuring films, but still a shitty movie. And then the hide and clap scene. Seriously, a 10-second clip from the first Conjuring movie is the absolute definition of the film. That's what people think of when they think of The Conjuring. Yet that somehow spawned an 8 installment franchise. What the fuck happened to this world? I remember back in the 80s, there were good movies. All right. There were sequels. Yes. There were, 18,000 Friday the 13th movies, but they were all good. They all brought something different. You had the Dream Warriors where we tried to fight against Freddy. You had the New Nightmare, which was the most, to this day, in 2021, the most interesting take on a horror film becoming canon in its own universe. Yes, you had ridiculous Friday the 13th sequels, but they were fun. They leaned into it. They understood how ridiculous they were, and it culminated in an amazing crossover. Freddy versus Jason. Seriously, you want to talk about King Kong versus Godzilla? Step aside, you millennial crybabies. Freddy versus Jason was significantly more monumental than King Kong and Godzilla because we had actual actors in roles. We weren't watching the CGI monster fight the CGI ape. Fucking idiots, man. This world has gone to shit. Oh, I swear to God. But The Conjuring should have never went beyond The Conjuring 2. You want to do a little bit of milking, I understand. But 8 installments, and the fact that they continue making them tells me you dumb motherfuckers are going to keep paying for it. How many Saw movies did it take? You got to 7 Saw movies, and then they decided to kill the fucking franchise. We're 8 movies deep in The Conjuring, showing no signs of slowing down. You people are pathetic if you pay for this shit. Seriously, the plot will literally insult your intelligence. If you walk out of the theater after seeing The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, thinking that you in any way, shape, or form just witnessed something above the absolute bare minimum of complete dog shit, you are the problem. All right? The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. How about The Conjuring, my low IQ made me do it? Because that's why you're paying for your ticket. That's why you want to see The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. It's because you don't actually think about the decisions you make. You're an impulsive millennial or Gen Zer who has absolutely no idea what it is to work for something that you want, to practice patience, and you have absolutely no idea what goes into good filmmaking. If you're looking for a good scare this summer, skip over The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, and maybe go see Spiral instead, but not because it's a good horror film, but just because Chris Rock's acting terrifies me more than anything in either one of those fucking movies.